The home of football for the big match between Melbourne and Richmond. And a magnificent day in Melbourne and plenty of traffic on the Yarra River and plenty of traffic heading to the MCG. As we join our commentary team headed by Drew Morfitt.
Well, this is like finals time. Look at the MCG rocking and groaning under the weight of people. Now down on the boundary line, Russell Morris has some important news.
Yes, Drew, I have. Look, the Demons administration have been telling some white lies, and they never do that in footy, do they? Because we've got the team sheet here, and this is the official team sheet that comes out about 20 minutes before the game. David Schwartz, number 5 here, is named in the side. We've got asterisks next to the interchange players, and the emergencies down the bottom. We've got Johnston, who played in the 2s, Jay McDonald and Longmuir. And we asked the question of the Melbourne administration whether Schwartz was playing. I got a bit of a speculation, a bit of a whisper around the crowd, Drew, that he wasn't playing, and he's not in the side, so they're going to incur a fine. I'm not too sure what it is. Finals atmosphere, beautiful conditions, the Tigers and the Demons, Melbourne for 4th, Richmond just to get a chance in the finals. I'm loving it, Drew, and I just can't wait for it to start. Looking forward to have a great call.
Thanks, Russ. Yes, it should be great. Joining us in the call today, Terry Wheeler. Afternoon, Wheels.
Good afternoon, Drew, and what a day. Stephen Tingay, 150th game. What a venue for that, and Jason Tawney playing his 50th for Richmond.
Matthew Knights won the toss. Tigers with a light breeze in the first quarter. Andrew Coates to get us underway. It's like finals have started a week early at the MCG. White faces Gale. And White gets his hand to it but doesn't clear the area. Ball socket off the ground by Uze for the Demons. Woden gives chase with Knights. Knights goes towards the boundary line and finds out of bounds at centre wing. Well, with 2 Melbourne teams and the crowd just about evenly divided, the atmosphere today is just going to be electric. Jim Stynes watches on from the boundary line. Brendan Gale wins the tap, but he's knocked it straight to the opposition. Phoebe kicks towards centre half forward. Punch to the front, a chance for Lyon, who bursts through the pack. First goal, Gary Lyon.
Yeah, terrific start there to the Melbourne team, and no better player to get involved in this contest than Gary Lyon. As we know, he just gets his club up and going. Terrific stuff here by Phoebe, who actually read the ball off the pack of the hand of Benny Gale. But Gary Lyon just getting in front of the contest, but accelerated quickly, balanced himself, and as you see him kick the goal, he tries to get the Melbourne supporters involved, looks to the crowd. Come on, let's get involved in this contest. Sensational start, Demons.
Back to the centre of the ground. The Demons on fire early. White gets it down. Here's Tingay, game number 150. Squeezes it from 50, goes long towards the square. Farmer getting back. Push. A heap of pressure and a free kick.
Yeah, certainly there, Terry. Farmer's been matched up by Tawney there in a back pocket. And as we know, Jeff Farmer in this part of the ground is most dangerous. He just read the flight of the ball that little bit better. But isn't it great to see Tingay in full flight on the burst with penetrating play? He should run around and kick an easy goal.
But a great shot of the angle. Here he comes. He's run to a little bit of trouble. Good enough to get around a second opponent and put the Demons' second goal on the board.
Fantastic start for the Demons. Essendon Hearts would have sunk with this great start. Woden out of the middle, a standing start, 70-metre kick, but Gale's back there to take the mark.
That's incredible dominance at the centre bounce, isn't it? Just at this early stage, 3 very good clearances.
Gaspar slides the hand pass across. Tawney out of defence, and Michael Gale marks at half-back. He was going to give off the hand pass. Pullis round the boundary line, close to the boundary line. Evans playing in a head guard today after injuring his cheekbone. Evans over centre wing. Miranda! Big climb. Well, he got first and third touches and comes up with the ball. Centering kick towards centre half forward. Whistle's gone. Going to be a Richmond free kick.
Paid for a high tackle, Drew.
And it'll come back to Andrew Kellaway.
Ben Holland gives the lead. He ignores that. Goes longer towards centre half forward. It's a good spot. Richardson had all the room in front of him and away he went. And the kick was an excellent one.
There's some interesting matchups in the midfield also, but as we see this build-up here by Callaway, beautifully placed kick to the advantage of Richardson. He showed terrific comeback. The comeback within 2 weeks after that broken cheekbone. He's been resilient all year as Matthew Richardson, but there's some interesting matchups. We'll talk about them after Richardson has this shot for goal.
51 goals this year. 3 times he's kicked more than 50 in a season. He's gone long.
It's touched, I think. It was touched off hands.
Certainly touched.
The kick was a good one, but the work on the mark was better. So all the little things at the moment just lie with Melbourne. Ingerson there. He's the player that worked the mark. Leon Challey brings it back in for the Demons to O'Woden. Started on Matthew Knights. And if he's going to run with that one, it's going to be a heck of a contest all day. Leon Challey again. The smooth player out of defence for the Demons. Carries it with a couple of bounces towards Neitz. Strong. Strong at centre forward. Into the front of the contest in front of Holland. Neitz looking on down the ground. Sosa goes short. Rigoni. What a season for him. Played his first game in round 1 and every game since. Woden. Demons just chipping the ball around. They have plenty of options. Here's McDonald out wide on the left foot. Now they penetrate towards the goal line. Up goes Farmer! That is unbelievable. There has to be a trampoline behind that contest, the way he got up.
There's just no doubting this young player's potential. Have a look at this jump and run and mark. Oh, that would be Cadbury's mark of the year.
That is just all jump.
Well, they don't call him the wizard for nothing. Jeff Farmer has kicked the goal from the boundary line. The angle a bit better for him, but he's made a mess of it. But what a sensational mark from Jeff Farmer. They talk about Neitz and Line being the keys for the Melbourne forward line. Well, I think this man is. Have a look at that.
Lands on his feet. It's amazing, isn't it?
The second lift there is from Gary Line. So Melbourne showing their fans everything. And here's another one. Jeff White. The party balloons are out, Drew.
Well, haven't the Demons come out to play today? Woden's centering kick is good. Robertson's hand pass away. Uze inside 50. Oh, Farmer got a hand to it and then hit the goalpost very hard.
Hey, Mickey, if the Demons continue with this sort of form and trounce the Tigers and go into the finals, look out, the top 8.
Yeah, you're certainly right there, Fly. They've jumped into this contest.
Campbell, a scrambled kick, but Uze takes the mark.
And Adam Uze is one player this year that's really stood up across half-back. He looks like he's pushing more forward today at this stage until probably the settling of the dust happens. But Uze is such a great rebounder across half-back. He had that shot on goal just before the ball went out of bounds. Usually a pretty good kick for goal. Wouldn't be surprised if he put this one through.
Well, he leads the competition in clearing the ball from the defensive 50. And here's his second kick inside the attacking 50. Adam Uze. And it's a great kick.
So they have opened the AFL members for this capacity crowd to get in. The MCG is just packed. And why wouldn't you be? What an important round 22 clash we have. And in these first few minutes, you would think Melbourne were the side playing for the spot in the final 8. It's the Tigers who have to do it. They're down 18 points at this stage of the first quarter. Here they come through Richardson. Platt overrun by 2 Melbourne defenders. They force it on out wide. Daffy gathers it, feints back onto the right foot, drags it around, bounces in towards half forward. Melbourne in front again. Seacamp charges the ball down. No free kick. Prescott dribbling along in front of him, can't find the handle on the footy. Helen's there, but the Melbourne defence is just charging in at the ball. The back half is matching the intensity of the forward half from Melbourne here today.
And it's interesting to see, actually, they're using Darren Gasper, the Richmond team, across half-back to be that floating player, that spare player, obviously to provide a contest against Neitz and Line in that part of the ground, but it's McDonald who's running free in midfield unopposed.
We've reached the expected top of 17 degrees. Viney bursts through the pack. Woden, he's got White in support. He goes on his own. Front edge of the centre square. Now he finds White. Puts the ball out to Lyon. Turner a spoil. Tawney grabs it off ground level, clears the 50, but it's all Melbourne. McDonald sets up again. Lyon in the pack. Farmer waited at the back. Gasper, Tawney, they're under pressure, the defence. Still a chance for the D's. Gasper kept it in. And that'll be a ball up in the forward pocket. Melbourne putting on the pressure. They lead 3-1 to a point.
And there's McDonald, that spare player. He's just drifting out, playing sort of a loose man centre forward, and it's Gasper who's pushing in, obviously, to provide that height against Gary Lyon and also David Neitz. Maybe Richmond have to work that one out because he's getting a bit of the ball.
So umpire Stephen Hanley bounces it half forward for the Demons. Gary Lyon just ensuring it goes over the line with Wayne Campbell.
Terry, just a quick update on the interchange. Normally I wait for the game to settle down. It's taken 10 minutes. Melbourne, Cowell, Steins, McDonald, Collins, Richmond, Bowden, James, Nichols and Tivendale.
So the ruck work done. Knights squeezes on out to Broderick, the left foot, a little bit of room. He uses the ball well generally. That's not a real good one. Viney cuts it off for the Demons. Looking to set up at half forward. He's got it out to Uze. The left footer, class. Look at that kick.
Yeah, and Woden, who just received that ball, he's been given the job to nullify the effectiveness of Matthew Knight. Some other important matchups. Matthew Phoebe's running and trying to negate Campbell. Also, Stephen Phoebe and Prescott is being picked up by Ashley Prescott. In the midfield, Nick Daffy's got opposed to Guy Rigoni. It's interesting to see Liam Challey, who's usually been in the midfield. He's pushed back across half-back, trying to nullify the effectiveness of Mark Miranda.
So Woden will kick from right on the 50, the left footer. And left footer's generally kicking well, and he has nearly. It's hit the post. So Melbourne move on to 3 goals, 2-20. Richmond the one behind.
And he's had a terrific start to the game, as Shea Woden. He's had 6 possessions. His direct opponent, Matthew Knights, has had 1 handball.
Brought in out wide for the Tigers. Gasper takes the mark, feeds the run of Tawney towards centre half forward. They haven't got a target there. White getting back, Miranda late.
Yeah, there'll be a 50, I would think. Oh, no.
So umpire Gavin Dorr said it was in the context of play, and Melbourne just bring it across half-back to Viney. Finds Gergi. Melbourne are able to find the targets relatively too easily here in their forward line and centre of the ground. Here's another one. Up they go and away they run. Feeds it on out to Uze. Another left footer has another go. This time it's to the near side. So after a blistering start of goals, Behind's now starting to sneak onto the Melbourne scoreboard.
And Harrison's just come off the ground. He's been directly opposed to Adam Uze, who's had a terrific start to this game. That was his 5th kick, his 2nd shot on goal. It's young Joel Bowden who's come on the ground to replace Harrison.
Turner kicks in, straight up the ground. Bullis caught behind. Neat's a good mark.
They've just got more spring in their feet at the moment. Their body language just is saying that they want to get into this contest. And Richmond team are a little bit flat, whether it's awestruck or what. They've got to react and stabilise this flow from the Melbourne team.
Needs to full forward. Farmer! Not this time. Comes to Knights. Richmond skipper kicks short in defence. Gasper. From the back pocket. Knights a double passed. Out in front of the southern stand, which is filling up now in the members area.
Just a quick one, Drew. There was a good comment, Mickey. I really believe that Richmond are awestruck because really there's no excuse for being flat. They've probably had 7 or 8 days grace since their previous match, but the Demons are just on fire, and the feeling down the ground level is just sensational.
2 number 9s going for it. Campbell and Neitz doing the ball back out of bounds.
I guess, Drew, the real issue, Mick, does come that length of the breaks between games for Melbourne. Over the last 2 weeks, it's only been 6 days and 5 days. You know, they really did need to get a start because come the second half, they could be starting to feel that.
Yeah, that's a fair call, Terry.
Bullis interfered in ruck.
Yeah, push paid in the ruck contest, Drew.
Free kick to David Neitz. Paul Bullis not happy, wanting an interpretation from umpire Coates. McDonald offering a lead in short. Neitz goes longer to the 50. Robertson pinched it. Man in front. He paid the man in front.
What do you think, John?
Well, I'm comfortable with that. If you can't determine, but the guy up front's had a firm purchase, then give it to him.
It was Kellaway.
Uses Tawney, so just a string of handballs now end up with Daffy towards the wing. Richardson a long way out. Ingerson right there with him. to Daffy. He racks up possessions. It's Daffy, come off 30 last week. The Richmond midfield was very strong, admittedly only against Brisbane Lions. Here they're under a bit more pressure. Bowden's kick floats away to the right-hand side, and it's out of bounds on the full. Platt was the player there, number 14 for Richmond, and Marcus Seecamp. So the experienced Seecamp against the new Platt. Seecamp along the boundary line towards the half-back line. White knocks it on down. Melbourne continue to get the numbers there. Phoebe, White follows on up. Campbell's there.
It's interesting to see Jeff Geesham has actually reacted. He's put Darren Gasper back across centre half-back, picking up David Neitz. And now the mobile McDonald's being picked up by the taller Bullis.
So White, Gale does well to flick it on over to the back, but it's all Demons. Now there's a few Tigers amongst it. His brother Michael can't find the footy. Phoebe just wanting to get it towards the boundary line. He actually kept it in play to his brother, and away they go. The two Phoebes keep the ball alive. Long carry of the ball towards half forward. Is it going to carry? Not quite to Robertson. Does well on the pickup. Farmer wheels it around. It's a long snap. That's a long way out. It bounces high. It bounces just to the wrong side.
Yeah, and Gary Lyon was actually calling for that ball. He got off his opponent in Turner. Jeff Farmer just had a blind shot at goal. Would have been a terrific goal if he converted. The percentage play was to go to his ex-skipper and give him an easy shot on goal.
Scott Turner kicks in. Bullis takes a good mark. Good long clearance out of defence. And Tigers unmarked up on centre wing. There are three of them. Knights takes the mark on the logo. The Tigers still looking for their first goal. We've been playing nearly 17 minutes. Matthew Knights carries and Richardson marks. 45 metres out.
Yeah, terrific composure there by Matthew Knights. He knows, and every midfielder knows, that if you decided upon yourself to carry the ball, it's ultimately on your responsibility to use the ball effectively. Don't blaze away, because usually, more often than not, the backmen will have their forwards covers because they would have already committed themselves 2 or 3 occasions. Good play, Matty Knights.
Matthew Richardson for the Tigers first. He's got under it a bit close to the man on the mark. Bowden! No mark, play on. And the ball's out of play.
He's paid.
And deliberately out.
Yeah.
Richmond free.
Really didn't gain much ground through it. There was no doubt that his intention was to put the ball over the line, and in those circumstances, they're instructed to pay them.
Well, Joel Bowden thought he had the mark.
Jeez, I reckon Miranda should have ran away there. Bowden was there. Bowden's the left footer.
Yep.
He should be kicking this shot at goal.
5 goals last week in his return. Miranda. Oh, what a beauty!
Maybe not.
Oh, maybe not. Mark Miranda, great kick. So Richmond get there first. And out of bounds on the full free kick against Melbourne, and Miranda bananas it around for a great goal hard up on the boundary line. Now they're up and firing. Gale's in there right at the bottom of it. And if you reckon that centre wicket area is hard, so is the contest. Melbourne clearly dominant in the first 10-15 minutes of the game. Richmond have settled that down now. Getting their first goal was ever so important. Gale, the big thump. Viney gets back across half-back for the D's. Now towards Neitz at centre-half forward. Another good mark. The second strong one. He tried to move it on a little too quick for Woden. Back onto it. Leans back on the kick. It's got good height. Turner lunges the last bit to spoil on line. Callaway cleans up for the Tigers with Gasper. Quick exchange of handball. They haven't cleared the area yet. Now they do. Knights finds Gasper on the burst. Half forward. Richardson, Ingerson does well. No, he doesn't.
Yeah, over the shoulder, Wheels.
No time wasted by Matthew Richardson towards Platt. He's going to rove this surely. Now the big thump from the Demons gets it away. Gerget caught in a tackle by Miranda. All simultaneous to the play, said umpire Gavin Dorff.
And that's right, Wheels. I mean, there was certainly no prior opportunity to dispose of the ball. Here we see takes possession, almost immediately wrapped up by Mark Miranda, certainly not holding the ball.
By Gavin Dorr did the 96 grand final, so he knows the intensity of this game. Daffy keeping it back inside the four-line. Miranda again from the other pocket. Let's go on the left foot, but Tingay getting back, and the D's will bring it back now this near side.
Good running by Jeff White, the ruckman, to take the mark outside the 50. Well, he's consigned Jim Steins to plenty of time on the interchange bench this year, and Jimmy hasn't had a run yet today. White, half-distance pass, Woden. who hasn't missed a game for the Demons in the 2 seasons he's been over from Perth. Oh, juggled by McDonald. He's lost it. Gasper puts him under pressure. Michael Gale to help. Player on rules the umpire. And now he comes in and will ball it up.
Yeah, critical mistake there by McDonald. An easy mark that he should have taken. It looked like he just lost his footing as he was going for the second attempt to mark, but he recovered well to keep the ball dead in that part of the ground.
White missed with the punch. McDonald took a high tackle, and the ball will come back for the free kick for Anthony McDonald. He got Melbourne in a bit of a pickle by dropping the mark in the first place, but he's recovered the situation, winning this free kick. They flood down towards the Demons forward line, but the kick comes in short to Adam Uze, who's had a couple of shots at goal for 1 goal 1. Unusual for him. Just his 5th goal of the year. Kick by Uze. Oh, great mark, Neats.
He's in form, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, I was just watching him then. He ran hard to the other side and then double back. He's working extremely hard, Terry.
Lyon on the lead. Bowden back helping the defence. Hand pass to Knights and the Tigers can clear. The hand pass by Knights finds Tawney. Working down the southern stand side. Jason Tawney's run a fair way. Eventually to Broderick. Inside 50. On the bounce to Holland. Little hand pass. Miranda off the left. Not a bad kick. A goal. Oh, just offline. 1 goal 1 for Mark Miranda.
Well, Miranda returned to the side last week after missing 12 weeks with a groin injury. It's been a tough couple of years for Mark Miranda. 5 goals last week, and here's another returnee to the side, Brett Evans. It's just the 1 week with that fractured cheekbone. Second time this year he's had that injury, so he has every right to wear the helmet. Here he is again, has the chance. A little bit of a fumble, runs into trouble with Phoebe. Quick exchange of the handball. Callaway on the left foot to centre half forward. White in the hole, does enough to pull it up. Woden finds some space across half-back to bounce the ball through that position in towards Neats. Gasper does well to spoil. Farmer flicks it on out wide. Here's McDonald, Anthony McDonald. Line in front, Turner behind. Turner a second spoil, still hasn't cleared it. McDonald charges back in out of the game. Lyon amongst the Tigers, can't get the kick away. They win it through the Tigers, and Broderick breaks away. Left foot, finds Knights on the wing. He'll wheel onto his left. Has supporting run, Ben Harrison. Long kick, this is danger for the Demons here. Platt couldn't hold the mark as he came down solidly. Uze taken in the tackle, gets the kick away and finds Tingay. Under pressure, they still find their targets, Melbourne.
Tingay dodges Gale at half-back. Woden at centre wing. Can't believe that Melbourne were wooden spooners last year.
Jeff White could be the target.
Woden's kick. Dropped a bit short of White, but he comes up with the football. His left footer. One out is Lyon. He dashes to the goal square. Kellaway did very well. Didn't even concede a point.
3 quick changes for the Tigers, Drew. Tuvendale's come on. Ben Harrison's come back on. Also, James is on. They've taken off Bullis, who's been chopped up by Neats. And also, Benny Holland may have backfired it because he missed so many games.
Here's Lyon, just 10 metres out from goal. He's been under pressure with that back injury for the last few seasons, and they are putting that under pressure. He's missed just 3 games for the year, but what a player.
It's a great comeback, isn't it? You know, just half a dozen games in the 2 years leading up to this season, and he's back out there, leading his club. It's its finest hour. Here they come again. All they've got to do is pick it up. Phoebe swings around. He's got it, Matthew. That's a great shot.
Work for Holland on the Richmond bench. White wins in the middle. Woden gets a tough footy out to Stephen Phoebe. He clears the centre square. Viney just knocked a couple out of the way and cleared a path for his teammate. Matthew Phoebe again. 2 in a minute.
Yeah, it's just those passages that of play like Viney, just that show of strength that actually got a couple of Richmond players off the line of the ball. That vacated the space for Phoebe to run into. Terrific strength in close there by Woden to get it to Stephen Phoebe. But here's this contest. Two Richmond players get out of the line of the ball. Phoebe, who was running forward to centre, received the loose ball. Great conversion. Player on song.
Matthew Phoebe had kicked 4 goals in 17 games this season. He's kicked 2 in about 30 seconds.
I've just gone back to round 18, 1996 since he last kicked 2, Drew. I mean, when you've got players like that now starting to bob up and join in amongst it, I really thought Richmond had the advantage of the number of potential goal scorers they had, but Melbourne are starting to find them anywhere and everywhere now.
And here's one player that's really set him alight. Shaneway Woden's got the job on Matthew Knights. At this stage, he's had 10 possessions, 5 marks. Just been such an involving player in this contest initially.
So from the centre area, Prescott trying to charge through. He can't get through the McDonald tackle. Roderick off the ground, pushes on out wide. It'll be a boundary thrown on the outer side.
And that's one feature of the game for Melbourne over the last probably 6 to 8 weeks. Has just been their tackling off the ball. We've seen the strength of tackle just on that occasion by McDonald on Prescott. No one only want to give him an easy possession.
Harrison will come in late. Bowden does enough in the ruck work to steal it away. Wheels around onto his left foot. Kicks towards Plapp and Miranda. Plapp over the top, couldn't take it. Miranda flicks it on out wide. Plapp has another, takes his eyes off the ball to meet the man when really he needed to pick it up himself, and so Melbourne win it. Turn it back out towards the outer wing. Campbell. Handball's over the top. Bowden again, left foot. That's a better position. Right to centre half forward. Tingay flies. Ball spills down. Leoncelli to Uze. What a pair. 2 fine young players for the Demons. And this is a fine one too. Not so young, Stephen Tingay, but away he goes. Stinger's up and away to Shanahan. They're barging through Melbourne. Barging through the half-back line to half forward. Farmer pushes and shoves. Does enough. Neitz does the roving. Spins it back around. Bounces it in the square. Bounces it over the line. Great work, David Neitz. Neil, they're on fire.
Looks like the umpire suggested that it may have been touched off the boot of Neitz. The goal umpire, that is, but the field umpire not acknowledging that. Oh, yes, he is. There's certainly nobody in the goal square to have touched it, Wheel, so it must have been off the boot, but the field umpire was of little help, if any, to the goal umpire, so the goal umpire appears to have called it.
And we could see it there, John, where umpire Andrew Coates was standing there with his hands behind his back. Yep, that's your right. Indication. I'm not here to assist you, it's your call. That's left it with the goal umpire.
That's right.
So I've had 2 of those calls, 1 at each end. Siren, quarter time here at the MCG. What a start by the Demons. They kicked 5-5 to 1-2. Out. Who touched this?
Well, Neitz has kicked the only... Tawney's the only one near it. Now, the field umpire is the closest to that, and he did not call touch play on. The touch call has been given by the goal umpire. The goal umpire asked the question, but the field umpire not having a bar of it, saying it's your call. So the goal umpire has taken it upon himself to call it touched.
Just also acknowledging in the centre bounce area there, umpire Andrew Coates just acknowledged the boundary umpire, John, who came into that conversation as well. He may have given some additional information to the decision-making.
Well, a wonderful start to Neil Danaher's boys. Are they looking for a top 4 finish? They lead by 27 points.
And through the trees, the Great Southern Stand at the MCG. It's quarter time, and Melbourne are leading the Tigers 5-5, 35 to 128. On the second floor of that building, the boardroom of the AFL, and gathered around are those who will let us know exclusively the makeup of the final series. We'll find out shortly. Let's go back to the football. It's the second quarter between Melbourne and Richmond.
Jeff Geishan out there having a word to his Tigers, who must be shocked with the way Melbourne threw themselves at them in the first quarter. And Greg Hutchison from the Melbourne Match Committee is with Russell.
Hutchie, congratulations. The intensity, magnificent.
Yeah, thanks, Russell. It's been pretty good. We're happy with the start. Richmond have started really well all year, and we've matched them and got a good start, which is great.
Guys like Woden, the young kids have taken Knights out of the game. Neit's sensational.
Yeah, well, Knights, he still had a lot of the ball. He still had 8 touches, and Neita's in good form. He's been out of form, but today he looks like he's going to be in pretty good form.
How do you go about getting this special belief in the players for this year?
Oh, well, they just win some games, a bit of belief happens, and some different personnel. It makes all the difference, Russell.
Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Well, there's a veteran on the right-hand side, but a couple of youngsters there, and Jeff White and Guy Rigoni. And they've certainly come in and added something to this team, and it's just unrecognisable from last year's Witherspoon.
Oh, for sure, Drew. You know, those young players are certainly standing up. But it is great to see David Neitz in full flight. He's had 6 crucial kicks in that part of the ground, 4 marks across centre half forward, Adam Uze across half back. He's had 8 kicks, 3 marks. He's been a rebounding player. Janeway Woden, we've spoken about in the call. He's already had 11 possessions with 5 marks. He's had the better of Matthew Knights at this stage.
In front of the capacity crowd at the MCG, the start of the second quarter. Richmond need to get some early goals here. They're working hard in the centre of the ground. Here's the quick kick from Daffy. It breaks it the Tigers' way. It's going to bounce it centre half forward. Flicking on back, Richardson very smartly on to Campbell. A quick kick from the player up high. Big jump there from James. Too early, undisciplined, free kick against him.
Unrealistic attempt to mark, Will, so penalised.
So Melbourne, Rigoni on the outer side, a couple of bounces. 1 of 5 Demons to play every game. Kicks towards the wing. There's James McDonald. He's a late inclusion to the side. Schwartz didn't make it to the side, so Melbourne a late change. And here he is, James McDonald at the bottom of the pack. Callaway doing the tackling.
I think it's fair to say at this stage they certainly need more from Nick Daffy and also Wayne Campbell. Wayne Campbell's actually been picked up by Matthew Phoebe. Admittedly, he hasn't had a lot of the ball, but he's had 2 critical shots on goal for two goals.
Accidentally kicked over the line, but didn't go out on the full from Steve Phoebe.
Drew, just a quick update on interchange. Darren Cowell, Jimmy Steins yet to have a run. Russell Robinson, Matthew Collins. Richmond have got Michael Gale, Benny Holland, Paul Bullis and Greg Tivendale.
Neitz is playing a game, marking it on the forward line and contesting boundary throw-ins. McDonald, Tingay, took his eyes off the ball for a split second. McDonald again, the older brother Anthony. She had it a fair time. Ball, say the Richmond crowd. Broderick got the ball out.
I think he was actually hitting the head, yeah. The umpire from the end zone at the punt road end is indicating from where he was there was a clear contact above the shoulder, so the free kick paid by the non-controlling umpire.
So Anthony McDonald to take the free. This is one of those crowds evenly divided. You're going to get ball and man all day. McDonald's kick inside 50. Lyon and Turner. Turner a good punch from behind. Lightning hands, finishes it up with Broderick. A dive by Clapp. Oh, the hand pass was spilt, but a quick recovery. Nichols is there. Prescott did well. Bowden, 49 metres out to the goal square. Richardson. Miranda, and he gets another one.
So Mark Miranda missing from the team for 14 weeks because of injuries and 2 operations. Has made a sensational comeback. 5 goals last week. The 2 goals here for the Tigers this afternoon. And Jim Steins looks on. Right in the centre of the MCG. A free kick to Gale Shawley. Yes. White unable to get at the ball, trying to barge his way through. So Gale's kicked to half forward. Richardson, Ingerson right there with him. Seacamp to Uze. Uze can't squeeze it on out. Daffy does well. Nichols, body work. Here comes Prescott from outside 50. Goes deep into the pocket, unfortunately. Miranda was the magnet. Why wouldn't you go for him?
And the reward just wasn't there after a terrific smother there by Platt. He hasn't had much of the ball at this stage of the game. Actually, he hasn't had a kick as yet, but that's terrific stuff, trying to get yourself involved in this contest.
Aaron James doing the ruck work with the Demons. Run it out. Rigoni again, the forward handball. Seacamp. They're coming straight through the centre. Viney on again. Russell Robertson kicks long into half forward. It bounces there. Line beaten on this occasion by Turner, but Farmer's there. Ploughing up the ground, out wide, now across towards half forward. Not a good kick, doesn't quite carry to Tim Gay. Harrison takes it there for the Tigers to Broderick. Centre half forward. Gergen, good mark over the top of Miranda.
Your mate, the umpire's had a bit of a tumble down there, Jack.
Yeah, it looks as though he's carrying a bit of an ankle now too. It's hurting.
Well, here come the Demons again, up towards half forward. And a strong mark taken by Benny Gale. Tigers have kicked the only goal in this second term. Daffy wants it. Gale goes in the direction of Miranda, too high for him. Gergic, good mark.
And as you can see by that contest, Brent Gergic's actually been put on to Mark Miranda at this stage.
Platt hasn't had much leather, but he's in there fighting hard for it. Bit of a young hero for the Richmond supporters. Justin Platt played in Richmond's premiership side last year in the reserves. A lot of players around this ball up. Good hit out by Gale. Tapped on further. Miranda with toe. This for number 3. Offline. Oh, good mark. Richardson.
That was a good mark, Drew. Just being able to use the body there. Ingerson was always going to be coming back hard, but Richardson actually became the aggressor, judged the distance from the flight of the ball very well, so that he did it within the 5. And took a very good mark. Hard up against the boundary line.
Miranda could be in a bit of trouble there. He was crouched just as he got rid of the kick. Richardson, the banana. He's done it!
Matthew Richardson, game number 99, gets his first goal.
Centre square infringement, Wheels.
And you should do that in such an important game. You need to just be back to 6 inches off the line. This gives Melbourne a chance, and you go to Neitz. His hands have been great. Mark number 5.
Well, Wheels, I think that's 1-all to both teams, actually. Richmond, Melbourne and Brennan encroached the centre square in the first quarter, and now Richmond have actually done it in this quarter. It's something you should not do as a player. Golden rule.
Stepping over by 6 inches, you're not going to make up an impact on the centre bounce contest.
That's for sure.
You saw Brett Evans interchange bench, and now it's with David Neitz. Been the focal at centre forward, has one behind against his name. Controversially touched one. Here's a long kick right to the line. The accuracy isn't there, so Neitz gets his second behind. And Melbourne pick up their first score of the second quarter. They led by 27 points at quarter time. Now it's down to 16. Demons, Turner and Bowden. Bowden a little bit slow on the carry.
Arm over the shoulder on that tackle by Jeff Farmer, but it was on disposal, so Bowden will actually take the free kick from where he kicked it originally. From where I was, there was no doubt the right arm was over the shoulder. There it is there. No doubt at all.
Well, you'd nearly give that as a win to Melbourne, holding the flow of play up like that. So through Harrison. Ends up back now with Bowden on the left foot. The kick doesn't carry as well as it should have. Gergic in front of Miranda over the line of boundary throwing. Brent Gergic just looking for a deliberate. The youngster very keen to get a kick.
Tigers have had the better of this second term. Aaron James takes clean possession, kicks inside 50, but Ingerson is there for the Demons. Good running by Seacamp from the last line. Anthony McDonald midfield. Lyon gives the slip to his man. Here's Gary.
And that was magnificent running there by Anthony McDonald. He was over on centre wing in front of the members here, but he charged across midfield, realising that the Melbourne players were about to rebound that ball. He received it, and this is a beautiful execution of delivery to the leading player, Gary Lyon. As you know, once the space is in front of this man, he knows when to hold his ground, push off his opponent, and find the space in front of him so he can use it. He does kick these goals, there's no doubt about that.
He kicked the first goal of the game to give the Demons a great start. This is away to the right. Farmer! Yes, a mark. No, the umpire's called, give it to me, and I'll ball it up.
Gee, it certainly looked from here as though Jeff Farmer had the first and last grab of that, but and obviously having a bit to say about it. But the umpire's a lot closer than all of us, so in the absence of having another look, we'll go with him.
Well, still a chance for the Demons. Neitz knocks it back. Broderick shrugs the tackle. Well played, Neitz. Oh, very well played. It wasn't his fault that Richmond had the ball.
I mean, Neitz was just committed to keeping the whole ball alive. Here's the jump here. Neitz in the front spot.
Oh, gee, that's a mark to Jeff Farmer.
Yeah.
That's poor decision.
It's or a team mark at least. Here's Tivendale, the youngster, on the ground. His kick not a good one. White cuts it off. Centre of the ground, MCG on a perfect day here, late August. Round 22 clash. Everything at stake here for the Tigers. Melbourne wanting to get to a top 4 finish. Richmond a string of handballs. They've come wider now. Knights on the left foot. Drops it in towards Callaway. He's got it. Andrew Callaway to half forward. Aggressive play by Ingerson. Has the job on Richardson. And to date he's done it pretty well. Richardson continues to be a target, but Ingerson right there with him.
I think Joel Bowden's also given Richmond something across half-back since he come off the interchange bench. Already he's had 11 possessions in that part of the ground, Terry.
There are certain games, Mick, and this seems to be one of them for me, where the left footers are having a great impact. We're seeing, Anthony McDonald, his run and use of the ball on the left. Uze's another player. Very classy act, some of these players out here now. Callaway, Bowden, they find Daffy, centre of the ground. Kicks to about 40 metres out. Miranda camps underneath Shanahan, aggressively at it. Richardson sat off the contest, so Melbourne had the numbers. They've won a late buck there onto Tingay, advantage to Melbourne. Free kick was paid. Now it gets to the outer wing. Two veterans, Broderick, Viney. Out they go, they lock it in. It'll be a bounce between the pair of them.
And Terry, I must admit that contact by Jamie Shanahan on Mark Miranda. I mean, Miranda doing everything right, watching the footy, backing back into the unknown. And Jamie Shanahan certainly didn't look as though he was trying to spoil the footy.
Didn't get much of the footy, got a lot of Miranda.
Didn't get much of the ball at all.
Gale sweeps it out to Nichols, his left foot kick goes towards the wing. The tackle from Miranda is good. Melbourne looking to keep it alive. Prescott's in there, it's going to be held up again. Look at it, stacks in on it. Everyone wants the footy.
Magnificent stuff, this, isn't it?
Wheels, can I just say, many people in the footy world think that contact by Shanahan is okay in a marking contest, but the player doing what Mark Miranda was doing just has to be protected. Otherwise, guys that just go for the footy as he did then are just going to get cleaned up week in, week out.
I think Shanahan did the right thing. It just he got Miranda high.
Well, Miranda's still feeling it. Tigers have had the better of the second quarter. Campbell breaks a tackle. Pokes it up high out in front of goal. Bowden!
He's been good.
Joel Bowden came off the interchange bench, and here he is right in front to give the Tigers their third goal in the second quarter, and Melbourne haven't added any goals in the second term.
Yeah, just judged it better than what Jeff White did. He's actually rucked fairly well. He's coming off the ground, replaced by Steins.
Bowden kicks the goal. Tigers creep closer.
So Joel Bowden, the boy from Alice Springs, whose father was such a great player for the Tigers, gets the third goal of this opening part of the second quarter for the Tigers. They're right back in it. 10 points is the difference. Melbourne, Powell on the ground for his first run across half-back. Finds Matthew Phoebe. A couple of goals from him in the first quarter. Melbourne keep the ball moving. Woden continues to run from half-back to half-forward. Great chase.
Yeah, too long.
Young Tivendale, Greg Tivendale.
Must successfully kick or handball when they've had a prior opportunity.
Tivendale turns it around to Broderick. He on the left foot to half-forward. Ingerson in front of James. Does well. Knocks it to the ground, butters it up again. Forward handball, another one by the Demons, long and loping towards Uze. He settles and picks out Tingay with a beautiful left foot kick. Tingay to the top of the square. Here it is, Neitzel marked that. He had his name written all over that one.
Yeah, good call, Terry. He was just in the right position, and that was a beautifully weighted kick there by Tingay to give David Neitz the advantage, because his direct opponent in Gaspar has got underneath the flight of the footy. Always a dangerous part of the ground to protect.
Still looking for his first is David Neitz. He has two behinds. He's got it. So Neitz gets his first, and Melbourne their first of this second quarter.
I think it's fair to say it all revolved against that contest back across half-back when Ingerson went and met the ball and Aaron James stood back and waited for the ball to come. Ingerson's attack of the football was far better on that occasion, got the ball forward, and here we see this contested mark by David Neitz. Eyes only for the ball, just got his hands free at the initial time, went back and kicked the goal.
Aaron James to the bench for the Tigers, replaced by Justin Clapp. A steadier for the Demons there, their first goal of this second quarter. coming at the 16-minute mark. Jim Stynes has replaced White on the ball. Broderick gets a touch in the middle. Daffy, hurried ball out of there. Harrison's kick inside 50. Ingerson's been an excellent defender for the Demons all year. Oh, Seatkamp had a second chance at it and used the second chance well. Gergich to half forward. Lions a long way up the ground. Prescott in there for the Tigers. Campbell, clever flip onto Knights. Back to Campbell. Gee, that was quick in there. Eventually to Harrison. He's kicked to Miranda at half forward. Miranda gives chase but runs out of room.
Mark Miranda looks a bit proppy, Drew.
Yeah, it's his groin, Johnny. I think he got crash tackled a couple of times and he's had that groin problem all year, so let's hope from Richmond's point of view that he's okay.
Gale in the front spot. You saw Neil Danaher looking on.
I will say one thing, if he is sore in the groin, he will become a liability if he can't cover the ground. He's better off the ground if he's sore. So if he can't cover the ground, he certainly will become a liability because it's a rebounding strength for Melbourne that is certainly causing the problems here.
Just feels it there, just as he crosses the line. So Jeff Gieschen coaching for now and coaching for the future with Miranda. He's got to strike that balance. Melbourne, well, they've found the balance. They seem to be weathering the storm from Richmond now. Uze with Tivendale. Tivendale again, that's the second time he's done very well on that outer side. A real sporting family from Officer way. Cowell on the left, half forward to Tingay. Harrison does enough. Over the back, Callaway can't get away. And the tackle takes the ball over the line and out of bounds. Andrew Callaway wrapped up there by Russell Robertson. Stynes on for his first run, just with the left hand down. Tivendale and Robertson, the two youngsters, both just 18 years of age. And a lot of football in front of them, I'm sure. These two veterans, Gale and Stynes. Stynes reaches over the top and is given a free kick against him. So Richmond with a chance. Gale to take the free kick. Averages 6 marks a game, Gale. Kicks well. Ingerson, Cowell at the back, looking to relieve, just turning himself around the left foot, takes the pressure off for the Demons again.
Back to centre wing, good mark, Kellaway. Duncan Kellaway's younger brother. Duncan missing with injury. Regular state player. Andrew, well, he looks about the same in the facial features. He might kick the ball better than his older brother. Harrison to centre half forward. Ingerson again. He proved a stumbling block. Viney out wide. Farmer on centre wing. He has Tingay. Tingay centres. Neats.
That's magnificent ball usage, Drew.
Farmer's run onto the goal square. I think David Neitz gives himself a show from 50 metres.
That's a terrific setup there by Farmer and also Tingay. Tingay had Gary Lyon further afield, who made out he was charging back to the goal square and then push off his opponent. But David Neitz was at a far greater percentage spot to have a shot on goal, more or less in the centre corridor.
Neitz, see if he can land a bomb. He's kicked it a mile, but offline and behind. 1-3 to David Neitz. Melbourne totally dominant in the first quarter. Richmond have hit back in the second. Margin is 17 points.
But the Melbourne forward line does look better in structure. Line in good form, Neitz, and then Farmer, whereas Jeff Gieschen still tossing his forward line around. He can't find the right mixture at the moment. Bullis has just come on to play at centre half forward for the Tigers. Gale and Bowden. Bowden on the left foot towards the centre of the ground, but it's all Demons. There's at least 4 of them camped in there. And Rigoni takes the mark to his skipper. Todd Viney, when these two sides last met, it was Viney's 200th game. His side went down by 7 goals. He would like to turn that around. In actual fact, he's coming off. So he picked up a stat on the way off. Gives it to Woden. Heames onto the forward line. Lyon, good body work. Peels over the back to Tivendale on the left. Into Harrison. He's a player that will need to lift. Hasn't had that much of it yet. He's had a few kicks, but hasn't been as penetrating as perhaps he should be with the run and carry of the ball. They're still tossing it around at half-back. Bowden has it now. They need a longer, stronger option to go towards Evans. Woden spoils it. Cowell keeps his feet. Evans comes again. Good tackle. Gives them a chance for the Demons again. Quick exchange of handball. Couldn't be taken there. Now they turn it back around. Gale. Knight. Richmond must make something of this. Over the top to Broderick. He'll kick from 50. Squeezes onto the left foot. Now to the right. Back to the left. Should have kept coming the first time. Got himself into trouble. And using the left foot was never going to be able to bring that one back.
Isn't it amazing? As long as Matthew Knights is holding the ball, he can set up his teammates. Sorry, Fly.
So just quickly, just showing Todd Viney on the boundary, just getting work on his left hamstring, Mickey.
It would be a major blow. If you happen to come up with a hamstring injury.
No doubt.
Gergic kicks in and kicks it up mile. Steins in the chop. Comes to the front of the pack. Matthew Phoebe to Uze. Quick hands. Comes back to Uze. Centre of the ground. Liancelli left it. Didn't go hard at it, Andrew Liancelli. But it's going to be a Melbourne free kick. Well, they got out of that with a bit of luck.
High tackle paid to Russell Robertson, Drew.
Front edge of the centre square, too far out to score. Kick by Robertson. Neitz and Gaspar. Ground level, off the ground, Farmer! 1 goal, 3 to Jeff Farmer.
That was an interesting free kick across half-back. I didn't see for what it was for. Johnny Russo put his hands in the air. Johnny doesn't see him. I know we're in trouble, don't we, Wheels?
Melbourne, 6 goals, 8. Their work in front of goal hasn't been as efficient as it was in the first quarter. So this has given the Tigers a bit of a sniff. They need to make something of it, though. Again, Uze turns it back. His work in halfback's been good, and a great kick towards Robertson. Keeps it alive to Jimmy Steins. Running straight, 30 metres out, and Jim's missed.
Yeah, they're the ones the big fella's got to kick. They're so important. He's doing the right thing, running the lines, and Robinson reacted quickly by taking that chest mark and using the opportunity of giving Steins an easy running shot on goal. It's unfortunate the accuracy wasn't there.
1 goal, 4 to Melbourne in this quarter. Here they come again. Farmer, advantage free. Woden just casually tosses it on over the top. And they've missed again.
They're blazing away at the moment, Melbourne. On that occasion, maybe the better option could have been just a short little chip kick to Robinson, who was in front of the goal square.
Should have put it through, Mickey, though, you reckon?
Yeah, I should have kicked the goal. There's no doubt about that, Fly.
That was Matty Collins missing. Kellaway takes the mark. Into Broderick. Beautiful hand pass. Knights. To half forward. Bullis on the forward line. And Ingerson again.
There's that attack on the ball once again. And I love seeing defenders when they get the opportunity to back their instincts and come and meet the footy rather than finding body contact. Ingerson's done that on a couple of occasions now. It's been very good percentage play.
Let's see Jimmy Boy and ruck. Jim Steins wins. Comes down to Stephen Phoebe. He's under all sorts of pressure, outnumbered 3 to 1. The numbers counted. Prescott. Campbell to Broderick. A high ball. Richardson. Rovers needed for the Tigers. Oh, Matty Phoebe. Absolutely creamed at ground level. Tivendale did well. Campbell.
Tackled high.
Free kick Campbell for the high tackle.
Wayne Campbell starting to work his way back into this game. We know he's a sensational endurance athlete, and the longer the game goes, the more ground coverage he'll certainly do. But here's the head-eye tackle against Ingerson, a little bit reckless in the tackle. That's the reason why Campbell may have a shot on goal here. One player that certainly is quiet for the Melbourne team is Stephen Phoebe. Ashley Prescott at this stage has nullified his effectiveness. He's only had 3 possessions.
Campbell kicking from 50, 51. Great kick. Didn't quite make it. Steins punches back into the field of play, and Gergic runs onto it, and then goes to his backside. Hand pass bounced away from Cowell. Here's Miranda. Centering. Bullis. Unusual role for Paul Bullis on the forward line. Great athleticism by Seacab. Back he goes to Stephen Phoebe, who runs out of defence.
So Melbourne continue to turn it back their way to half forward the Turner. This time out points Gary Lyon takes the mark. Tawney, his 50th game towards the outer side. Tigers have messed that one up. Neats wheels around. It's an empty goal square. It's gone long. Turner gets back and takes the mark. He gives it again to Tawney. See if they can do better this time. To Michael Gale. Right on the siren at half-time in a capacity-packed MCG. Miranda there with a couple of goals, one in the first, one in the second. But Melbourne kicking just the 1-goal-5 in that second quarter. They really had the opportunities, whereas Richmond came back with 3-1. Those 3 goals very early in the quarter, but Richmond then able to steady it and hold it down. Ingerson working well in the back with Shanahan, and Cowell now has joined them, and Stephen Tingay in game number 150. He's preparing himself for a big second half.
Some of the matches we've had in this final round, you'd swap for any of the grand finals we've had over the last 10 years. It's been a terrific final round 22.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, Drew. And there's the players exiting the ground at this stage. They're collecting their thoughts, thinking, where can we lift? Naturally, the Richmond team are under the pump more than what the Melbourne team are, but there's Neil Danaher with his match committee coming down. He'll naturally try to generate the enthusiasm required to get them over the line. A top 4 spot is at stake if they win today.
So Melbourne led by 27 at quarter time. Their lead is back to 19 points at the long break at half time. It is 6-10 Melbourne, 4-3 Richmond.
The Yarra River, a great sight, and the Demons well in command at half-time in this encounter with Richmond. The scoreline at the long break, Melbourne 6-10-46 to Richmond, 4-3-27. Can the Tigers improve? We'll find out in a moment. And a reminder, at the conclusion of this match, live and exclusive to 7 Sport, the definitive guide to the first week of finals action from the AFL boardroom. Now, the third quarter from the MCG.
Well, there's no place you'd rather be in football than at the MCG with a big crowd, 2 Melbourne teams playing, and what a game between Melbourne and Richmond. 6-10 to 4-3. Let's go down to the boundary line now, and Russell Morris, and he has with him Gary O'Sullivan.
Yeah, thanks, Drew. Look, pretty tough times in that first half for the Tigers.
No, it certainly was, Russ. We just didn't get things working for us at all in that first quarter, but I think we reeled a few of the playmakers and high possession winners back in that second quarter, so we've made a few structural changes and hopefully we can get back into the game even more. The kicking obviously has kept us in it too, but hopefully we can see a different Tiger outfit in the second half.
Yeah, Rossi Lyon said before the game, you can always tell right from the start about the intensity around the ball. Melbourne really showed you that in that first quarter, didn't they?
Yeah, no doubt. They were terrific at it, and we were sort of second guessing and weren't quite as intense as the Demons were, but hopefully we'll see a more determined Tiger outfit in the second half.
David Neitz, Woe Woden, Uze, they were really showing a lot of the ball, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, but we reeled a couple of them back in, as I said, Russ, so hopefully some of our playmakers can really rack up some possessions now.
Mark Miranda looked a bit dodgy with the groin. He got crunched in that second quarter.
Yeah, no, he's okay. He's okay. He was a little bit sore there at one stage, but he's fine.
Okay, good luck for the second half.
Thanks, Russ. Thank you.
Gary O'Sullivan speaking there with Russell Morris. Second half about to get underway. Todd Viney finished the first half on the bench with a hamstring problem, but he's out there to start the second half. Point lead to the Demons. It's nothing in modern football. Not a great bounce by the umpire. Rigoni met very solidly and high. And he might have felt the crunch from the blow, and also when he hit the cricket pitch area. He comes out wide to Ingerson. Anthony Ingerson has been magnificent at half-back today for the Demons. In fact, he's had a great season. Former Adelaide Crow.
There's no doubt, Drew, the addition of Jamie Shanahan to this side has really taken some heat off him and allowed him to be a very good player.
Flying for marks, but no marks taken. Ben Harrison at the back for the Tigers, across to Bowden, who started the game on the interchange bench and has been lively since he came on. Neats, what a tackle! He's turned it over, holding the ball against Bowden right in front.
And the reason that one has to be paid, Bruce, is that Bowden tried to barge through David Neats, and in trying to barge through. The ball was dislodged by the tackle, and once the ball is dislodged like that, prior opportunity, must kick or handball here, must kick or handball, does neither, incorrect disposal.
You call me Bruce one more time and I'll call you Jack McMurray
sorry,
Senior.
Drew. Sorry, mate. It's exciting, this atmosphere, sorry.
Here's Neitz right in front to extend the Demons' lead. No problem. Well, they started the second half just like they started the first.
Yeah, terrific start for the Melbourne team, and it's so critical that David Neitz continues his merry ways. That's his 12th kick. He's taken 7 marks. But here's an interesting tackle here. Any kids watching this, is one thing not to do. If you get tackled, you've got to get your hands free. Get the ball up in the air, got to get your body in between you and the tackler. All of a sudden it gives you a chance to dispossess the ball by hand. That occasion, the hands were pinned, the arms were pinned. There's nowhere else for the ball to go except straight to the ground. Tackle has to be given.
There was an umpire in the background waving play on too.
Melbourne 18 tackles, Richmond 15, and that one of the most important of the game. Richmond now, the umpire's down again. He's up as umpire Gavin Doran. The play continues. Bowden. This time he gets the handball on out. He's not going to get caught a second time, but eventually gets to Gaspar. Kicks to centre half forward. Melbourne have got it covered. Uze a little bit nonchalantly just with the right hand. It's now there to be won. Evans feeds it on out. The quick kick here from Daffy goes high. Miranda in front. Body work was good. Comes back again. Plapp. He's the goal kicker. He's missed it. Plapp really has been an accurate player.
Wheels, we're just looking at the bench for Richmond: Holland, Bullis, James and Nichols. Melbourne, we've got Steins, McDonald, Collins and McDonald. 2 McDonalds on the bench.
Marcus Seacamp looks towards the centre of the ground, towards White, and takes Richardson.
That will be 50, I would think.
And it's not a good sign for the Tigers.
I mean, Jeff White takes the mark, Richardson bowls him over, late contact, causes a delay in play, has to be 50. That's the reason the rule was introduced. And I would say that gives Jeff White a bit of a psychological advantage over Matty Richardson.
Great courage from Jeff White. When we think back to the very serious spleen injury he had back in '97, just as a young man finding his way with the Fremantle Dockers there, he's come back and he remains physical in the game. So here he is. He's kicked 16 goals this year from directly in front, just outside 50. Very close to the man on the mark. That pulls it up a little bit high. Accuracy, he lost it, just getting too close.
Yeah, you called it right there, Terry. He just got too close to the man on the mark, but that's also good work there by Benny Gale. Extra height on the mark, makes him kick over the ball and a bit higher than normal.
Well, Richmond need to win or to lose by not very much to make the finals. So a clear Melbourne victory would be good news for Essendon, who lost yesterday but could sneak in if the Tigers get beaten clearly here today. Ingerson is there. Cowell, number 7, goes to the line.
Do you think, Drew, some of those red and dark navy blue scarves are actually red and black scarves in the crowd today?
I think maybe a few Bombers fans.
They'd be there barracking for the D's without any doubt.
I think the ideal scenario is if they lose by 8 points, they can still actually jump into the top 8.
Pushing the back page to Jeff White.
They're not playing well enough to get within 8 points, though.
No, they are struggling. They're falling down across half forward. Blokes like Evans and Richardson haven't had a lot of the ball at this stage. Also, Plapp. They're 3 players that must stand up in this second half if Richmond are going to be competitive.
Ingerson and down the middle, Seacamp. It sits well for him, then a bit of a fumble. He's given it up. Harrison. Chance now for the Tigers. Daffy, high ball. Camped under it as Shanahan. Richardson did pretty well. Oh, well done by Tingay. Fantastic. That was David and Goliath. And little David won again. Viney, it sits up beautifully. Rigoni, Gergic. Top play by Melbourne. Robertson. Just a wild kick. Didn't have a look. Farmer's pace gets him there. He kept it in, centred the ball, and Gergic. And Leoncelli takes the mark.
That's terrific vision there by Jeff Farmer.
They are smart. I mean, that whole piece of play there was very, very smart football. Just holding back a couple of times on the handball, just being able to pick the right option. But then Farmer And I think Farmer actually held back, wanting to get grabbed, so that he had that player committed and then was able to toss it over.
Yeah, terrific build-up. What about the contest here on the half-back flank with Tingay?
Oh,
He just ran straight.
I think he wants to play finals again.
There's no doubt about it. I think that whole group does, actually, Wheels.
Liancelli 52 metres out. Oh, great carry on that kick.
So goals to Neitz and Liancelli bring Melbourne out firing. The first 2 goals of the third quarter. And their lead starting to extend. Here they come again. Robertson, what a live wire he's been. He's in range now on the left foot. Can he bring it back enough? He's hit the post.
And just on that occasion there, the build-up, if we could see it again, seeing Robinson charging forward, was David Neitz who actually let out and crowded him space. Maybe he just should have been a stationary player. That would have committed his opponent to actually go at the ball carrier and stay and guard Neitz. Therefore, Robinson would have been closer to goal.
The 12th time, Turner brings it in. This time down the centre of the ground. Finds Tawney. Wants to play it on. He does the Bowden. Oh, he's going to get run down. Farmer, you're the key here.
Jeff, real line ball there as to whether it was a push in the back in that tackle.
Off he goes, Farmer. It's back into the half-forward line. Neitz, Turner in the front spot. And gives it to the maintainer of the law and order at the MCG, and he gives it to the boundary umpire.
Look at, here's Bowden running through the centre and...
to the side.
You reckon it was to the side. The tackle was from the side, but many would say it propelled him forward, Mick. That's why his nose had to do it.
Here's Adamuse bursting for goal and kicking one. Two goals to Adamuse. He spent most of the year in defence.
And Drew, the parallels between this quarter and also the first quarter are identical. It was the Melbourne team who jumped into this contest in the first quarter, kicking 3 before Richmond could register there first. But there's Adamuse. What a quality player he is. I think you mentioned earlier in the call, Drew, he actually leads the competition from rebound out of defence. Today's a different role for him.
Well, Jeff Geeshan and the Tigers Brain Trust, this is their biggest game for a couple of years, and they're right under the pump here. Other than a 15-minute period in the second quarter, it's been all Melbourne. Here they come again. Neitz, up he goes. Robertson keeps it alive. Viney spins on out. Has anyone he wants to give it to? Neitz towards Farmer. Farmer pushes in underneath the contest. They'll set up outside 50 again. Liancelli has found Tingay. What a return to form by Stephen Tingay. Hamstring problems earlier this year, and over the last 2 years it's been hamstrings, shoulders, knees. He is back. Game number 150. From outside 50, there'll be a contest right on the goal line. Up they go. It's all Melbourne. They were more committed at it, couldn't take the mark, and it's over for a rush behind.
Terry, I think it's one thing the Richmond team is certainly breaking down. That's across half forward. Maybe it's a time for push Benny Gale to that part of the ground. Maybe try to get Holland involved in this game and just have a run with job against Jeff White at some stage, and maybe isolate Matthew Richardson with his opponent, one out from the goal square, and get Miranda up the ground.
Paul Broderick goes for a run down the southern stand wing. Now inside half forward. Holland is there. Comes to the front, Michael Gale. Shanahan out from the goal square. Gergic spun in the tackle to Uze. Oh, good eyes. Beautiful play, Melbourne. Liancelli a lightning hand pass to Seakamp. That is brilliant.
And Farmer one out too.
Robertson. Here's Farmer on his own. 30 metres from goal. The Wizard goes in and bangs it home.
Well, I think you can forget about Lyon and Neitz and Schwartz. It's Farmer who's the key inside this forward line at the moment. He is the live wire at ground level. Tippendale on his left foot breaks out for the Tigers to half forward. Gasper couldn't take the mark. Free whistle.
Free kick paid to Jamie Shanahan for pushing the back.
They've actually brought Stephen Tingay off the ground, replaced by Anthony McDonald.
Yeah, not much doubt about that one.
So Shanahan takes the free kick courtesy of Holland, who pushed. Lyon flies from behind Robertson. Knights. Woden right there with him. Robertson spins out beautifully. Takes a bounce. Pressure from behind is good. No, it's a high tackle. It's an advantage rule. They should play it. No, they're not.
Yeah, again, Wheels, it was on disposal, so the ball has to come back to that point and kick from there.
But Johnny, why wouldn't common sense prevail here? It's all about common sense football, isn't it?
In what sense, Robert?
Well, Melbourne had the ball. Why wouldn't you let it play on?
Well, I think Farmer was under a bit of pressure at that time, so he had to wait until he saw what came out of it.
Turner spoils on Neats. Daffy under pressure, goes along the boundary line. Campbell back to Callaway. His long kick to half forward. Two Tigers here. It flips over the back. Gasper has space. His kick's not a good one. Enough pressure from the chase. Miranda barges on it. Gergis there with him. Cow goes at the ball. Holland goes at the man and gives the free kick away.
He's reported him.
Yep, fair call too.
Yeah, Darren Cow looks as though he's in a bit of trouble on the ground there, and that was actually paid by two umpires. That is very indiscriminate, and we won't say much more about it other than that.
Well, I'm happy to say you've got to get your hands in the ball.
Yep. That's
no intention of that at all.
And certainly dropping the knees on players has been something that for a few years the umpires have been very conscious of, and. Because obviously, as you say, Wheels, players should be encouraged to get in there with their hands and get the footy, and dropping knees on opponents is not the way the game should be played, and unfortunately Darren Cow is limping evidence of that at the moment.
Sick boy.
Say the Tigers are in trouble would be an understatement. They seem distracted off the ball just at the moment, whereas Melbourne, the football belongs to them. When they get it, they use it. Here's the quick kick to half forward. Farmer comes through. Lyon comes through. That's high. Free kick against Gary Lyon. Half back to Matthew Knights for the Tigers.
The Tigers have managed just one behind in this quarter. In 14 minutes, they've been blitzed by the Demons. Prescott takes it from Kellaway. Gives it back to Kellaway. Ingerson again. Nearly been the votes, Anthony Ingerson. He's played a fantastic game at half-back. Wide to Seacamp. McDonald, back to Seacamp. Up to centre wing. Gasper did well to make a contest of it with Uze. Wants it at the line. They've kept it in, the Tigers. Campbell needs to lift. Into Broderick. The Tigers need to lift everywhere. Prescott, long to full forward. Shanahan wrestling. Oh, Ingerson again.
So I just don't think this setup actually suits Richmond, because there we've seen Richardson falling back to the area of the ground he's so familiar with. Ingerson's doing the same. You don't want to have 2-on-2 situations in that part of the ground.
Free kick to McDonald.
Held without the ball, Wheels.
So Anthony McDonald.
Just at this stage, Wheels, I think their marking targets look too slow.
Yes, no doubt about that. So Anthony McDonald just goes in short. Put Liam Chell under a whole lot of pressure. Tigers rebound through Knights. Here's the long kick, but guess who? Just reading the play very well, Ingerson. Game number 98. 37 of those with Adelaide, and his 9th mark. And Mick, all of them have been pressure marks. There haven't been any little chip kicks his way. Daffy with Harrison. Again, Daffy. Can't get it wrong. So Campbell, Daffy, Harrison, unable to bring it back inside where they wanted to, forced along the boundary line, and the boundary throw in.
And there's the pressure. Melbourne 5 tackles this quarter to 0. That's just typifying the way they're going about the game when they haven't got the ball, but also when they've got it, they're using extremely well.
Richmond at half forward. Broderick, he's on his left, forced around onto his right, so he just tosses it to the goal square. They need a mark. They can't get it. The Melbourne defence stands strong. Tivendale, the young fella on the left foot, can't bring it round enough, so he picks up a behind. Richmond move on to 4 goals 5, but trailing the Melbourne side 10-13.
It's interesting, they've tried to restructure a little bit. They've pushed Gasper down over this last 5 minutes or so of play. He's been picking up Adam Uze.
Demons look as though they're heading for their 5th straight win to charge into the finals after being wooden spooners last year. James McDonald kicks wide. It bounces badly for Rigoni. He's got a second chance now. Campbell's out at centre wing.
Drew, one thing that's particularly impressed me about the Melbourne team today and over the last month of their football is just they play the percentage thing more often than not. There's a prime example of Guy Rigoni just looking for the safety of the boundary line after he lost his feet.
Daffy took a while to pick it up. It was costly. 44 points the difference with Melbourne in front. Tingay, after that magnificent bump that he put on Matthew Richardson, shortly after that went to the bench. White beats Gale. It comes to Bowden, who's been caught in 2 tackles this quarter. One cost a goal. In front of the pack, Knights missed it. Campbell grabbed when he didn't have it. Free kick to Wayne Campbell. Bronx cheers from the Richmond supporters.
Yeah, exactly as you called it, Drew. Wayne Campbell grabbed by the arm there by Darren Cow.
So Campbell's kick to a congested forward line. Holland nudged out of it. Our Rovers need it. Miranda, he's the man. Mark Miranda, but offline with this one. Or behind. 2 goals, 2. Magnificent banana kick for a goal in the first quarter.
Free kicks have gone Melbourne's way in this third quarter, 8-2. I think all that indicates is their commitment at the ball, nothing else. McDonald, with his name all over the ball, kicks along towards the wing. He's picked it on out, can't take it there, Phoebe. Comes back again, does Matthew. Wheeling this way, that way, back to James McDonald. Anthony McDonald, his kick smothered by Tivendale. Rigoni missed Robertson. Harrison under all sorts of pressure from the tackle. Melbourne will break away, and this time's big Jeff White from right on 50 to the top of the square. Farmer's set for another jump. No, he gets in front. Great work, Jeff Farmer. That is as good a mark as that sensational one he took earlier. Prepared to put the body in.
And I think there was a prime example of the Richmond player Harrison. But have a look at this mark. Crashed his body in, kept his eyes. If he didn't fall to the ground, I reckon he was off. He's going to have an easy shot on goal. But the percentage thing, what not to do, Ben Harrison went into the centre corridor when he was under pressure. A handball to a 2 free Melbourne players. This is the reason why this man's got the ball.
2 goals, 3 this afternoon to Jeff Farmer. Can he square it? He has. He's got 3 goals, 3.
Well, Melbourne just going on their merry way. 5 goals to none in the third quarter. Jim Steins on the ball, having replaced White. Down to Leoncelli. A soccer off the ground by Broderick. Seacamp for Melbourne to the 50. Viney crashes through. Tigers have it. Knights the hand pass. Prescott. Here's Kellaway. Out to Gale. Gale short of half forward. Here they go. Michael Gale to Richardson. That's better.
I think that's a far better structure. It certainly looks better when you're looking from up in the grandstands. You can see Matthew Richardson isolated in that forward 50-metre area. Here's the build-up here. He's so quick on the burst when there's space in front of him. As you see there by the replay, he had the field of play in front of him. He ran extremely hard on the burst to receive the ball from Michael Gale. He must kick a goal from this scenario.
He's their leading goal kicker for the year, but just one today. Badly hooked. Jimmy's back there, and Steins takes the defensive mark. What a man.
Kicked the ball like a tired player, didn't he?
Yeah, sure did.
Steins to the outer side. Ingerson stands his ground.
Geez, he's been good.
He was great last week too, against the Brisbane Lions.
In control of centre half back. Jamie Shanahan joining Melbourne this year really has added to Ingerson's game. Woden, Leoncelli. The run just keeps coming from behind the ball from Melbourne. That's been the most impressive part of their game. Gale, Michael Gale, taken here by Uze. He's able to get it on out, but can't clear the area. Melbourne just keep barging at it. There it is now, spun back on out. Michael Gale gets another go. He breaks the Robertson tackle. They're working it across. Don't break the Gary Lyon one, but it's too high. Gary Lyon, game number 222. Paul Broderick, game 204. I'd say they've done that a couple of other times in their careers.
Bit of aggro in here.
There was a bit, wasn't there? Here's Black. Tivendale, just his third game in the half forward. Prescott trying to charge through, trying to make something for them. Nichols, a little bit wider to Daffy, comes back inboard. A standing shot from centre half forward, 50 metres out, and he has missed also. Four behinds to Richmond in this third term. Get the score a goal, whereas Melbourne have gone on their merry way. They've kicked 5 goals and are building up an unsaleable lead at this stage.
Ragoni's kick to centre wing, punch to the front. Comes to Collins, he's bowled over. Matthew Phoebe's handball. It sits up well for Woden. Oh, Bowden. And he's holding the ball, Woden. Well, Bowden put him down, and Woden was in no condition to dispose of it.
Yeah, we see him up from the front here. Bowden comes in and really meets him heavily, and he ends up over the ball and penalised for incorrect, or not incorrect disposal, holding the ball too long. But as you can see from that, he wasn't in great shape to dispose of it.
Terrific transition of play there by Matthew Knights. Seeing Richardson lead to the open side of the field, terrific use.
He's kicked just one. He needs this for the team and himself, but he's missed again. 1 goal, 2 to Matty Richardson. That's 52-41 for the season.
Drew, just in relation to that bump on Woden, the umpire was in fact on the opposite side of the contest to where we are, and they are really difficult ones to adjudicate on when it's a shirt from the front and you're trying to determine whether in fact the contact is above the shoulder.
Saw Jeff Geeshan on screen, and really they're looking to create a goal from something. 5 behinds this quarter to Richmond, so they've had the opportunities. Their finishing work just isn't there. Knights and Campbell in the middle of the ground, spin it around. Broderick, left foot, 54 metres out, goes long. Richardson needs to have a go at this, he doesn't. He should have been able to read that was going to miss the goals, Richardson, and have at least a go at marking it.
And also knowing that the pressure's there from the Melbourne team, Paul Broderick probably had a chance to run to the actually 50-metre arc and couldn't have had an easier shot on goal instead of kicking the ball from 55.
So Gergit playing just his third game over the last 7 weeks. He's had hamstring problems. Standing up well here today, as the rest of the defence is. Collins carries the ball on the outer side. Kicks towards Viney, does well against Gasper, flicks it back over the back, then follows it up himself. The skipper is in full flight, kicks towards the square, Michael Gale. First one back in front of Jeff Farmer and takes the mark. With great work by Viney on the outer side. Farmer and Gale now asked to play on. Gale tosses towards the outer side. Bowden takes it, has a heap of room out there. Broderick. Back inside, Tivendale. He's been a hard runner for them since coming off the bench. Gets around, here's a left footer, the boy from Gippsland, does well into Richardson. Can't hold the mark, should hang on to those ones. Gaspar gets it out, Tivendale's come down again. Richardson too slow to get up and get involved, but Nichols found Miranda, turns 25 metres out, gets the first one of the third quarter.
There's Greg Tivendale, who comes from that wonderful place in West Gippsland, known as Rock, Rydale Officer Cardinia in the West Gippsland League. Well, it's been a long time between goals for the Tigers, but 1 or 2 more before the siren for three-quarter time would be more than handy. Daffy, in the last 2 minutes of the third quarter. The ball goes out at centre wing. Mark Miranda there giving chase. He's kicked a goal in each quarter to be easily the Tigers' leading goal scorer. He's kicked 3-2 in their total of 5-9.
But that's part of their problem, Brett. They've only got 3 players who have kicked goals. I mean, others have to step up very, very quickly.
Jim Steins, clean possession. Anthony McDonald goes for a trot. Oh, Collins slipped to ground. Neats on the burst. Farmer! Farmer gets his 4th. 3 in this quarter.
Yeah, there certainly has been a few impact players today. No doubt Jeff Farmer certainly been one. Also David Deitz, both those players involved in this build-up here. Collins who went to ground, but look at this acceleration from a tall player, 6'3" of him. A little bit of luck, I suppose, on that occasion. Fell into the hands of Jeff Farmer, but the old saying, when you're hot, you're hot. And at the moment, Melbourne is certainly that.
The last 3 Melbourne goals from Jeff Farmer. Knights looking to turn it back. Broderick back to Knights. Bowden. He's had quite a few touches, Bowden. Disposal number 21 to he. Benny Gale wheels it back around. Here's the one-on-one contest. Holding somewhere, surely. Which way?
Jamie Shanahan actually holding Matthew Richardson by the left arm, and that's what the umpire has penalised here. Jamie Shanahan objecting, but certainly looked as though he actually hanging onto the arm there. It's pretty difficult for Matthew Richardson to mark the footy while somebody's hanging onto the left arm like that.
Yeah, but did you see Richo holding Shanahan's jumper? You can't see it, it's obscured by the camera.
I'll believe you, Fly.
He's got him by the jumper as well, so they're both holding each other.
So the umpire goes with the first hold. Richardson needs one. The Tigers behind it like it. He's got it. Gets his second. Jamie Shanahan continues to make a point here to the umpire, Stephen Hanley. But Jamie, I think you'll lose out on that one, mate.
It's interesting because at the very end of this, we do see that Richardson does have a handful of Jamie Shanahan's jumper. Right up till that very last moment, we're all assuming that Shanahan's the only one doing the holding, and both players appealing for the free kick when the whistle goes. And Fly, it was a bit of 6-1, half a dozen the other.
Thank you, John.
Good call by Fly. 40 points the margin, and just half a minute to go to the siren for three-quarter time. Broderick taps back. Robertson's been very good. Back to Collins. A high ball to the pocket. Lyon is there, outnumbered 2-1. Farmer just been scintillating. McDonald. Kicked by Anthony McDonald across the goal square and out of bounds in the forward pocket.
Just needed to hold that kick a little bit more, McDonald. Just set it up on top of the square rather than going over the square. Go for the top of the square. With only seconds to go in the quarter, a rover might have hit the contest.
Demons still have a chance. 12 seconds left. Neitz works to the front. Here's Farmer. Slippery as an eel. High tackle. Well, they've got to infringe to stop him.
Yeah, this has been a terrific game from a ground level, crumbing forward. There's the reckless tackle there by Harrison, certainly over the shoulder of Jeff Farmer. We spoke about impact players. This bloke certainly is one. He's only had 14 possessions, but he's had 7 scoring shots on goal. This should be his 5th for the day.
And he's 4th for the quarter. He poked at that, didn't kick through it, and missed virtually a sitter. But it's three-quarter time, and they'd be stiff to lose from here, the Demons. Plenty of work for Jeff Geeshan, for the Tigers to get up and get a spot in the finals. What a turnaround by Melbourne. Wooden Spooners last year, and they're bursting into a top 4 finish for the finals next week. Ingerson has been superb, and it's 12-14-86 to 6 goals, 9-45, and Melbourne heading for their 5th straight win.
Well, this is the scene of the AFL bunker. On the left, General Manager, Football Operations Ian Collins. In the middle, Dean Moore, Special Projects Manager. And on the right, Wayne Jackson, the Chief Executive Officer of the league. We'll know the makeup of the final shortly. It's pretty exciting. And we'll take you there, live and exclusive on 7 Sport. Well, the Demons are well in command at three-quarter time. Here's the final term from the MCG. And as we pick up play, Melbourne have extended their lead to 47 points.
Darren Gaspar. He's looking back infield for movement by teammates. Doesn't want to kick it himself. Gale! Well, he had a chance. Dropped it low down. And the umpire's going to have to ball this up right in front.
I think the intention was fairly good from Darren Gaspar to give the ball some little bit of elevation. Just the execution wasn't there because it was Benny Gale who led up the ground knowing that he was opposed to Steins.
Bit of basketball, Viney to Phoebe. Matthew Phoebe's hand pass across the half-back line. Ragoni. Kellaway hit the ball hard and was taken high, and he'll take the free kick.
Yeah, that was a poor kick by Rigoni, centering the ball from that part of the ground.
It's with Daffy, centre of the ground, goes to the outer side, pushing out Gasper, continues to provide a target, couldn't take the mark. Harrison, kick doesn't get past Tingay, scrubs it a little bit further. Matthew Phoebe onto the runner, Tingay, and away he goes. Played in the 1988 Grand Final on the interchange bench, kicks it from some 70 metres out. Farmer tries to keep it alive, and then dealt with a second time by Turner. And umpire Andrew Coates just asking Jeff Farmer to hop out of the way, son. Oh, hit high by Knights.
There's another one. He's reported the skipper, Matty Knights.
I mean, if we have a look at this, the umpire is actually on the far side of where the camera angle is, and Matty Knights comes in from the front. Matty Knights will see come from basically the bottom of screen. Now the umpire is immediately at the top of the screen, so
Unbelievable. Missed him by a foot, John.
pretty tough call to report when you're behind the
Exactly
player.
right.
And but nevertheless, the report has been made, so that'll be determined this week. And I suppose the only point I will make is that if the umpire doesn't get a clear view of the contact, then I certainly don't agree with the report being made.
He's already done time this year. Never been reported before earlier this year. So that's the second time he's gone up.
But Johnny, Andrew Coates is a very experienced umpire, so he must have reported it as something he did see. Would you agree with that?
I'll tell you one thing, Fly, there wasn't much in it, mate. Absolute disgrace.
Maybe we can continue it after the shot at goal, Fly, but I'm happy to discuss it, and I think it's appropriate.
So Anthony McDonald, 35 metres out, directly in front. Melbourne continue the march. And I'll have $10 on anyone. He'll get off.
Yeah, I agree with the Wheels. There's no doubt about that. And as Johnny Russo said, if there's here's the particular incident here.
Now, bear in mind the umpire's at the top of screen here. Now, I don't know how good a view he can get of the contact that Matty Knights is about to make from where he was. So, again, I stand by what I said earlier.
Melbourne going on their merry way. They've kicked 2 goals to nothing in this last quarter. To the 50, Platt can't take the mark. The hand pass back to Kellaway. Richmond have the numbers 2-1, but Uze beats them both.
Drew, I've thought of a Shoreway option that Richmond could have got to the 8 in the finals. They could have forfeited the match. They wouldn't have even had to have played. They wouldn't have lost any percentage. Would have been a bit like Trevor Chappell on the underarm bowl.
Gale towards the line, and Uze gets it out. No, it's kept in by McDonald. Play on, says the umpire. Tingay, nobody in front of him. He's to the 50. Long to the goal square, Neats, and Tawney punches through to concede a behind.
You just see Scotty Turner on screen. He's actually one player that I think's done particularly well in that part of the ground. His initial opponent was Gary Lyon, who only kicked the first goal of the match and only had 2 kicks. And naturally, because of the dominance of David Neitz, he had to go and make that contest more of a contest. I think Scotty Turner's one player that can hold his head up today.
Melbourne have won their last 4 games by an average of 50 points. Today they're going to make that winning run out to 5, and they're now leading by 54 points. So if you want confidence coming into a final series, these boys should have it. Here's Ingerson, he spoils it from behind. Miranda was so good early, keeps it alive here, intercepts the ball along the boundary line. Phoebe's right there with him. Miranda picks up a free kick, and well done, son.
Yeah, terrific work right there. He really knew that he probably couldn't win possession. It was 2 against 1, but he worked extremely hard. He overran the ball in that situation, but certainly it was in the back against Stephen Phoebe.
Since half-time, Melbourne have kicked 8 goals, the Tigers just 2. Miranda gives it to Richardson, but still a very tough shot.
Just shows you how injuries can determine your season. I reckon if Miranda had played all year injury-free, they wouldn't be in this pickle, Tigers.
Yeah, it's a fair call, Drew. Naturally, it comes down to consistency, but there's a mistake there, and they'll rebound out of defence once again with the Demons.
So Tingay to Rigoni.
Out wide.
4 or 5 bounces. The boy from Myrtleswood just keeps going. He finds Knights in all sorts of trouble. To Woden. If the D's get the goal here, they've done well. Here's Farmer. They have done well.
that is magnificent poise and control by Regani in that part of the ground. He was running streaming forward, knowing that he had two players, more or less Richmond players, zoning an area, but he just held the ball, waited for the Richmond players to commit themselves, hear his eyes, release Woewodin with a little bit of space, a penetrating right foot kick to a one-on-one contest, and Jeff Farmer does the rest.
Farmer, 4 goals to date. 1 in the first, 3 in the third, and now 1 in the last.
I think the scoreboard actually indicates the dominance of this game. As we see at this stage, it's 30 shots to 15, but this is quality football. Guy Regani charging forward, assessing his option, looking right, looking left, looking straight ahead, holds the ball, then releases the ball into the path of Woewodin. That is a terrific build-up by a team, chock full of confidence.
Well, what a hero the young man from Tamballup in Western Australia has become with the Demons in Melbourne. There were times when they struggled to keep their hold on him, but he has just been phenomenal this year. And what a confidence boost. 5 goals going into the finals. James McDonald to Ingerson. Away they go again, Leoncelli. Neitz is there. Farmer waits at the back. Neitz!
Well, Drew, I don't think there's much more we can say about this team. They are running hard. They're running through the centre corridor. Once you've got targets in front of the goal square like this bloke, he's taken 8 marks at this stage. He's lining up for his 3rd goal for this afternoon. They're quality statistics from a forward who's come back from injury. No doubt he'll get better with more match time.
Neitz for goal. He's given him something to think about on the right goal post, but he's got it. Well, the way it's looking at the moment, Mick, the Demons will finish 4th, the Crows will be 5th, so they'll play Adelaide, the reigning premiers, in Melbourne next weekend.
Oh, what a game that'll be.
Went to have backed up from their performance last Monday night in such a short period of time, and then even their round 20 game was only a short recovery gap of some 6 days. They haven't had a full 7-day break for a couple of weeks, Melbourne. With all that in light, when you look at the way they continue to run this game out, they are impressive. Phoebe missed Neitz on that occasion. Farmer there to clean up.
But Wills, I think Mickey hit it on the head that when you're in form, it doesn't matter. They could play again tomorrow. It's when you've got that confidence, you're chock-a-block, they're taking their marks, they're hitting the ball at full pace, and they're kicking the goal. Sensational effort.
Ball thrown in, left to Turner, did the ruck work by himself. Tigers can't take advantage of it. Broderick, a little give. Bowden spying some territory. Harrison couldn't take it. The harassment from Ingerson was good. Unfortunately gives it away to Gaspar. A couple of Tigers make a mess of that one. McDonald squeezes it on out. Melbourne just sort of forcing the ball closer and closer to goal. Eventually White on the left foot, toss it up. Contest, top of the square. Spins on out wide. It'll go over the line. No, yes, it does eventually.
One thing that's particularly impressed me with the Melbourne's game, Terry, is just their ability to deny the Richmond team a little bit of time and space. They've really been relentless in their defensive approach.
Daffy can't get away. It's a Melbourne free in the ruck contest.
The signal appeared to be a signal for shepherding. Wheels given by the umpire, so Neitz will take this from about 20 metres out.
And what an impressive game from David Neitz. Here he is.
Shepherding. Holding.
Well, the signal wasn't for holding, so everybody will have to make up their own mind.
David Neitz, game number 116, and is only 24 years of age. What a valuable player he's going to be for Melbourne for a long time. Great centre half forward. Good work, David. 4 goals, 2 in the last quarter, and Melbourne continue to pound the goals.
Yes, Wheels, and I think the most impressive part of the Melbourne team also is the second half here. Here's the replay here. Make your decision. Well, they say to be a holding one, John, rather than a shepherding one. I think the pleasing part of Melbourne's game is their 11-goal-2 second half.
And the crowd today, not quite 80,000, but a phenomenal 76,387 at the MCG to see the Demons storm into the finals.
The umpire's down.
He's gone down 3 times.
It's a different one.
Steins palmed the ball out in the middle, and a Richmond player who collided with the umpire has come off second best.
Yeah. That's right. Benny Gale, a clash of heads there.
Little hand pass, Broderick. Things not just working for the Tigers today. Bowden, it didn't go straight to him. And here's Gale on all fours in the middle of the ground. This is no way to finish the season, is it? Coming off second best, clashing with an umpire. But he looks as though he's going to have to come off. Harrison wins the hit out. Goes to Uze, who has been absolutely fantastic today. Kicked a couple of goals. Woden.
This bloke's been particularly good. I think he set the scene early in the game, did Woden, matched up against Matty Knights. Hasn't left his side all day. And no one knows Matthew Knights had the impact on a game like he usually does.
Here's a goal coming up. Leoncelli to Neitz. Neitz. Gale goes to the bench to finish his season, I'd suggest. What a shocking way to finish. Defeat and a clash with an umpire with just 10 minutes remaining. Well, Neitz has a chance to join Farmer on 5 goals. And this for his 3rd in this last quarter. Looks pretty good.
Well, this is just a terrific effort by the Melbourne team. We've stipulated it all day. But another pleasing factor for Neil Danaher is the amount of times they've actually gone forward in this game. They've gone forward 48 occasions, but the return being 18 goals on the scoreboard. That's a terrific goal efficiency percentage. You're equated to probably work to about 57%. You go for that many times and kick goals, it's good work.
Very sad and sorry is Brendan Gale. Looking on at the 7.5-minute mark of what is the last quarter of football for the Tigers in 1998. Because the day has belonged to Melbourne. Russell Robertson, one of the players early in the game who got them going. David Neitz really taking hold of centre-half forward. As Drew said, 5 goals. Since missing some 11 weeks with an ankle injury, Neitz has slotted back into there. 5's his best return this year. And now Russell Robertson has his chance. From directly in front, the boy from Burnie in Tasmania. Just inside 50, tosses it up. Be right on the line. Who's at the back? Oh! Just a little bit fanciful there, Jeffrey.
Could have been a left foot, Wheels.
Yep.
Could have been more simple.
What I've liked, and there's Neil Danaher, who this week, Joe Gutnick, was keen to get into the boardroom and inspire some of his business managers, because Neil really has got this side going. Collins there, runs it in onto Plapp. Plapp under pressure along the line. Bowden keeps it going towards Tivendale. He's worked hard, but Melbourne in actual fact win the boundary throwing a half-forward flank on the outer side.
We just witnessed another pleasing aspect in Melbourne's game is the defensive pressure from their forward players. Jeff Farmer on that occasion, he was the one charging out of their forward line to add defensive pressure on the Richmond team who had possession of the ball.
Holding the man paid in that ruck contest.
So Paul Bullis to take the free kick. 124-45. Enough time left. They could nearly win by 100 if they keep going and keep applying the pressure. Ball goes out of bounds on the southern stand wing. And I reckon at the moment Neil Danaher can find gold in the bottom of a backyard swimming pool. What a first season he's had at the helm of a senior AFL team. Knights reported in this last quarter into Campbell. Campbell's kick to full forward over the head of James. Bad bounce for Richardson. Seacap, good vision. Stephen Phoebe. Collins. James McDonald. Matthew Phoebe, midfield. Good tackle by Knights, you're holding it.
Yeah, sort of backed himself to be able to run away from that tackle. Phoebe, and Matty Knights really snared him and penalised for incorrect holding the ball.
Kick by Knights across the ground. Harrison. Here's a chance for Richardson. Good mark. Two Tasmanians playing on each other. Richardson and Shanahan. Jamie Shanahan after a long career with St Kilda.
Yeah, Drew Richardson's last 5 minutes of the third quarter, and this quarter when it's actually gone forward, he looks far better when he's actually leading from the goal square. He's quick on the burst. That's probably a deficiency of Jamie Shanahan, who was exposed a couple of weeks ago against Port Adelaide's Warren Treadray. He's been a significant contributor today.
Richardson for his third. Pretty quiet back there, but it is a goal.
Now back to the final quarter at the MCG. Melbourne in front over the Tigers.
What a pickup he has been in the pre-season draft last year, taken, and has not missed a game since. Game number 44. So 22 last year, 22 this year. And this has been one of his better ones, I have no doubt about it. Outside 50 to the line. Needs from behind. He claims the mark. Play on. Not quick enough to get the left foot to it. Rich went through Prescott, forced it through from behind.
Gee, I'd like to have a look at that one again, Terry. I wouldn't be surprised if actually it was a mark to Neitz. I didn't think any other player really got any purchase on the ball except David Neitz.
David Neitz, that's right. Maybe the umpire was unsighted at the front of the pack, and they're certainly not encouraged to guess, as we were saying before.
Here's Nick Daffy. Kicks towards centre wing. Bullis. He's got Bowden running past, and he's got opposition coming up from all over the place. Michael Gale to centre half forward. Ball hits the turf. Be a lot of Richmond players who will wonder about their contribution in this game today. Broderick, perhaps one of them. James McDonald, good hand pass out. Stephen Phoebe, centre of the ground. Anthony McDonald got caught underneath the ball. White, just a little touch. Across to Collins, but they've lost it. Harrison to Michael Gale. To the 50. Knights. Well, Melbourne fans are booing him. Centering kick by the skipper. Adam Uze again. What a game he's played. Steins. Gee, I was here the day he made his debut, Adam Uze. We were guessing how to pronounce his name. YZE. We thought, what is that? We know it pretty well now. Robertson on the run. Great goal!
Well, Tingles just went down my spine, Terry. That is just a sensational goal. Like the poise and just the presence. Adds an extra dimension to the Melbourne forward line. He's a marking player. Smaller of inches compared to Neitz and Schwartz and Lyon, but he works extremely hard across half forward. He's a hard runner. He's a real competitor, but he has terrific balance. He assesses his options, has a little bit of control, but that's a terrific finish from that pocket. There's no reason why he shouldn't be happy. Well done, Robbo.
Russell Robertson, just 18 years of age, the youngest man on the ground, and has got a goal in front of 76,000 people at the MCG, and he's playing in a side that is going to take a great degree of form into the final series. Gasper on the outer side for the Tigers. Kicks a short one. Richardson couldn't take it. Turned back again by the Demons. Collins.
Firm contact from the front, so free kick will be paid.
Matthew Collins, he's one of the persistent stories in footy at Adelaide. Broken leg, thigh, groin injuries held him up, and even a broken arm earlier this year. But he's coming to the side at the right time. And here's the Wizard. And Jeff Farmer, for me, has maintained more concentration on the game today. Great degree of maturity in what he's gone about today.
About the kick by White. Just a big fella, just an absolute pinpoint.
He's gone for the top too.
There it is. Watch this go if he gets onto it. There she goes, and it's wavered off to the left-hand side.
It's great to see players with confidence.
I've got him down for 5 goals. 5. So what could have been? What could have been for Jeff Farmer? Campbell, the short kick in. Harrison gives it back to Campbell on the outer side.
Close to the boundary line. Uze working hard to spoil right to the end. Melbourne's last loss was to North Melbourne in round 17. At that stage, they were 9th on the ladder. And with 5 wins in a row, they've worked their way from 9th to 4th. And won't the members in the smokers stand be singing the song at the end of this as the Demons charge into the finals. Nick Daffy going for a run through the middle. Long to pull forward. Aaron James. Been an absolute passenger. Hardly sighted today. Ingerson just takes him out of the play. Seacamp kept the ball in. Michael Gale couldn't mark. Knights. It is a bit unkind, isn't it, to boo him? Campbell, good kick. And Bowden marks too far out to score. 2.5 minutes left for the Melbourne fans to get their voices ready to sing the song. It is a grand old flag at the MCG today.
Just on that setup there from Joel Bowden, the Melbourne defence is just so disciplined. They all got goal side of their direct opponent, so no one could really actually get into that hole and give an easy shot on goal.
Kellaway to the goal square. Richardson. I think he just got it there. Goal.
So 75 points is Melbourne's lead. The greatest win this year was the start of this run of 5 wins against Brisbane. They won by 95. But this is against arguably a much better opposition. And they've powered through it.
Not arguably, certainly.
Certainly. It makes you wonder, Drew, doesn't it? When there is something there to play for. I mean, St Kilda last night, they played for a top 4 position, couldn't deliver. Richmond playing for a place in the 8, and today haven't been able to deliver either. Whereas Melbourne have come up with the goods. Matthew Collins played the last 3 games, Matthew Collins. Was a Melbourne boy who was taken over to Adelaide in the draft and now returned. Very deliberate. Kick right on the 50-metre line. He's tossed it up high, and in doing so has just wandered across, has it, for the 1 behind. So 2 behinds to Matthew Collins, but 19 goals, 19 to the Melbourne side, and that is their highest score for the season, beating 19-11 in round 2.
Demons have made the finals just once in the last 6 years, in 94. Tingay, good hand pass to Robertson, who burst the tackle. Farmer. He had a bit of a slip, but his speed gets him back to the contest. Holding the ball against Farmer.
Holding the ball there.
Yeah, tough one really, because
Did he ever get the ball?
it didn't look as though Scotty Turner actually tackled him. And there must be a tackle.
Turner with a right grin goes across the ground to Platt. 133 to 57, and just 20 seconds remaining in the game. Kellaway from centre wing to half forward. Miranda, who's been easily their best forward. He's kicked 3. Richardson's now kicked 4. If Miranda had stayed fit, it could have been different. Ingerson just about BOG. James McDonald. The Demons in the finals and in 4th place.
Congratulations, Neil. What a sensational effort. You must be very, very proud.
Look, they were fantastic today, and Monday night was a big game for us in here, 70-odd thousand, and look, the players were fantastic, and it was a big game for Richmond, and it'll give us a lot of confidence going to the final.
It's an excellent reward, isn't it, after all the hard work over summer?
Yeah. I finished the top 4. It's just a great position to be in. Take on Adelaide here, it's a lot better than taking Adelaide over there, so no, we're real happy. Thanks.
Good on you. Thanks very much, Neil.
Well, the final margin finished up being 76 points, which was pretty appropriate because the crowd was 76,000. A fantastic day for the Demons. They've gone from 16th to 4th in one season.
I think it's terrific to see Neil Danaher, probably one of the most unluckiest players to ever play the game, had 3 major knee operations in 3 different stints at Essendon. Well, I suppose there was a lot of talking about his coaching ability. It was just a matter of when he was going to coach rather than a case of when. It's great to see him getting this Melbourne team up and going because they are a club full of tradition, full of the right cultures. Isn't it great to see a happy bunch of blokes after a game, knowing that they've worked so hard, they've achieved the top 4 spot, playing Adelaide in Melbourne next week. Whatever day it is, Adelaide know they're in for a contest.
Your definitive guide to the first weekend of AFL Finals action is coming up next, exclusive to 7 Sport. A day Demons fans and the team and their coach Neil Danaher won't forget. They led at every change today to run out convincing winners over Richmond. The final scoreline: the Demons 19-19, 133. The Tigers 8-9, 57. So what are we up to next weekend? Let's find out. At AFL headquarters, good evening, Drew Morfitt.
Yes, thank you, Craig. And here we are in the boardroom of the AFL at the MCG with Wayne Jackson, the Chief Executive of the AFL. And very nice to be in your home turf as well. Just before we get down to talking about the draw for the finals, which start next week, you've had a fantastic result both this weekend and for the season.
Well, we have, Drew. We hit 366,000 for this round of matches, which is just wonderful. It's up from our previous record of 329,000. And that in fact takes us over the season to 6.114 million people, which is the first time we've ever broken through the 6 million barrier, so we're absolutely delighted.
That's a remarkable performance. A lot of people love their footy and also can't wait to find out where the finals will be played. So let's go through them and let's have a look at them and just run through the decision process and how you came about them.
Well, the first game we're going to play, Drew, is Friday night next week here at the MCG with North Melbourne, the number 1 team, playing Essendon. That game will start here at the MCG at 7:45. Then we'll follow that up with 2 games on Saturday. Firstly, here at the MCG, Melbourne, who finished 4th, will play Adelaide, who finished 5th, and that game will start at 2:30 here at the MCG. And similarly on Saturday, we're going to play in Sydney. Of course, the team that finished 3rd, playing St Kilda, who finished 6th. And we'll start that game at 7:45 on Saturday night in Sydney. Then that will leave the Sunday game again here at the MCG when the Western Bulldogs, who finished 2nd, will play the West Coast Eagles 7th. And again, we'll start that game at 2:30.
So really, there's only one game that's being played out of order, and that's the North Essendon game, which goes to the Friday night. Why did you have to do that?
Well, we did that because we just thought it was in the best interests of the competition. It does have some ramifications for Sydney, but Sydney will be playing on that Saturday night for the right to play the following week again in Sydney. So they've got plenty to play for. So we think it's a pretty good balance to have those games scheduled when we have them around the country. There's actually, as you've probably noted, Drew, we've got 3 non-Victorian teams and 5 Victorian teams in the final, so that's a nice balance too.
And North and Essendon, a bit of spice to that one, the Marshmallow game with the Bombers sneaking into the finals?
Well, after seeing the crowds here at the MCG today of 76,000, I would be hopeful that on fine weather and a Friday night that we would get somewhere near that crowd again.
Now, you finished up with 3 matches at the MCG. You didn't have to schedule any games for Waverley. Does that please you? Were you trying to avoid a game at Waverley?
No, we weren't trying to avoid a game at Waverley. We're trying to play the game where we think we can get the most number of people, and with the games that we've got scheduled, we think the crowds will be significantly greater here than playing that one game at Waverley. And it'd be a little bit of a quandary too, Drew, as to which game that would be. It would possibly have been the Western Bulldogs and West Coast game, but we think most people would appreciate that game being played here at the MCG.
And there'll be no dead final, so with the result of the Friday night game between North and Essendon, it doesn't mean that Sydney and St Kilda will be playing for nothing on the Saturday night?
No, we did give some thought to the fact that if Essendon won that game, it does have ramifications for the Sydney and St Kilda game. But again, Sydney have got a lot to play for, because if they can win that game, they will be playing, as I've said, for a second game or at the SCG. So they've got a heap riding on that game.
It looks a great mix, Wayne. Thank you very much. What a final series it'll be.
The 1998 AFL Premiership season, proudly brought to you by